Psychology shows women do this when they're tired of being just friends and want to sleep with you instead. Most guys stuck in the friend zone don't even see it coming. That moment when everything shifts. One day she's your buddy, tagging you in memes, complaining about her boss, laughing at inside jokes. The next, she's giving off signals that feel different. The air between you starts to feel heavier, charged, confusing. You tell yourself, nah, we're just friends. But something in your gut says otherwise. Here's the truth: women almost never come right out and say, I want to sleep with you. Instead, their psychology changes. They start revealing it through subtle, subconscious cues, tiny shifts that tell you she's crossed the line in her mind, even if she hasn't said a word. In this video, we're breaking down 20 powerful signs that she's done with being just friends and ready to take things to the bedroom. These aren't your basic hair flip or she laughed at your joke cliches. These are psychological triggers, behaviors that only appear once she's already imagined it. And make sure you stay till the final sign because that one is the most subtle and the most powerful. Miss it, and you'll stay her safe, loyal friend while another man becomes her lover. Beat pause. Music shift to subtle tension. Welcome to Dark Psychology, where we uncover the hidden emotional triggers behind attraction, desire, and behavior. I'm Amelia, and today I'll show you how to finally see what women don't say out loud. 1. She begins talking about sex, but disguises it as casual conversation. At first, she'll act like it's nothing. Maybe she mentions a wild hookup story she heard from a friend or a random post about relationships on Reddit. But psychology says women don't casually bring up sexual topics with men they only see as safe. She's testing your response. She wants to see if you're comfortable talking about sex, because that tells her if you'd be comfortable having it. Watch her tone and eye contact. If she lingers on certain details or smiles nervously while watching your reaction, she's planting a seed. She's creating a safe sexual context where it's okay to talk about desire without directly admitting she's thinking about you that way. Remember, this isn't random curiosity. It's her subconscious saying, if I can talk about it with him, maybe I can do it with him. 2, she starts comparing you to men she's dated, and you always come out on top. This one's sneaky but revealing. If she begins casually mentioning her exes or guys she used to date, but every time you somehow sound better, it's not a coincidence. She's reframing you in her mind. Friends don't need to be compared to lovers. But a woman who's starting to want you blurs that line when she says things like, you're not like most guys I've dated. Or, you actually listen, not like my ex. She's subconsciously recasting your role from friend to potential lover. Psychologically, she's rewriting the story, and you're no longer her safe zone. You're her missed opportunity. 3, she becomes bolder with her body. Not just flirty, but deliberate. A friend hugs you casually, but when desire enters the picture, everything changes. Suddenly, her touch lingers longer than before. She leans in closer when you talk. Maybe she starts wearing clothes that accentuate her curves around you, not others. It's not vanity, it's targeted psychology. She's now aware of how she looks through your eyes. And every gesture, the way she adjusts her hair, crosses her legs, or leans forward, becomes a silent test. She's saying, notice me, but don't call it out. Her body language becomes a weapon of attraction. Soft, deliberate, and dangerous. If you've seen any of these first 3 signs already, don't assume it's coincidence. This is where the friend zone quietly cracks open because from here on, her behavior isn't friendly anymore. It's instinctual. It's desire trying to hide behind comfort. 4, she creates opportunities for private overnights. When she's in platonic mode, she'll head home after dinner without thinking twice. But once attraction flips on, her excuses start sounding a little too convenient. Oh, it's too late to grab an Uber. Mind if I crash here? Or you can just stay at mine. It's closer. She'll make it seem innocent, even logical. But psychology says these accidental overnights are engineered moments. She's testing if being in your space overnight feels natural or charged, because deep down she's already imagined what might happen if you said yes. The key detail: she always chooses the setup that feels private, safe, and close enough for something to happen if you let it. It's not about convenience, it's about permission disguised as logistics. 5, she uses humor To blur the line between friend and lover, women who are testing the sexual boundary often hide behind laughter. It's a powerful psychological shield. So she'll start making jokes about what it would be like if you two ever hooked up, or how you'd be trouble if she liked you. Then she laughs, pretends she's just teasing. But the joke isn't really a joke, it's a trial balloon, a way to express desire without the risk of rejection. And the more she repeats these jokes, the less she's actually joking. She's building a safe bridge from playful banter to sexual tension. Pay attention to her delivery. If her tone softens, her eyes linger, or she watches your face for a reaction, she's not being funny, she's being bold but pretending not to be. 6. She starts commenting on your body in oddly specific ways. There's a huge psychological difference between nice haircut and there's something about your shoulders lately. When she starts noticing details most people overlook, like your forearms, the veins on your hands, the sound of your voice late at night, she's no longer looking at you as a buddy. She's visualizing you as a man. These comments are her way of mentally undressing you piece by piece before anything physical ever happens. Each remark is a tiny act of intimacy. She's exploring what it feels like to desire you without admitting it out loud. You'll notice her eyes wandering just a second too long. Her smile softens when she says it, and her energy shifts from playful to quietly charged. That's her attraction leaking through. 7, she becomes curious about your sex life, but disguises it as concern. She'll say things like, "So, are you seeing anyone right now?" Or, "Do you ever date your friends?" She'll claim it's just conversation, but her questions are too specific to be random. Psychologically, she's mapping the competition, trying to figure out who she's up against and what kind of women attract you. She's searching for emotional safety to see if her desire is safe to reveal. If you notice, she asks these questions late at night, over text, or after an emotional talk. She's not curious. She's emotionally opening the door because in her mind, if you're single, the green light just turned on. 8, she orchestrates accidental intimacy. This is where her strategy becomes subtle but deliberate. She'll set up situations where closeness seems natural, like watching a movie together on her bed, sharing headphones, or teaching you a dance move that conveniently requires touching your waist. Every time you get close, she pretends it's no big deal, but psychology says these moments are scripted. She's training both your bodies to get comfortable with physical closeness, to normalize the kind of proximity that makes intimacy feel inevitable. Later, you'll notice her. Reactions are calm, composed, but her breathing changes. Her voice softens. Her laughter fades into silence that feels heavier than before. That's not an accident. That's her subconscious rehearsing what comes next. So far, everything might still look innocent from the outside, but in her mind, the friendship has already crossed into emotional danger. Because once she starts scripting intimacy into your time together, the friend zone isn't just cracking, it's collapsing. 9. Her hugs suddenly change in texture. A friendly hug is quick, casual, safe. But when she starts wanting you, that same hug feels different. She lingers. Her body presses into yours just a little too long. You feel her breathing slow, then sync with yours. Her arms tighten around you like she's trying to memorize the shape of your body. Sometimes when you pull away, her hands slide off you slower than before, almost reluctant. That moment, that's where the line blurs. It's no longer just a hug. It's her physical way of saying, "I'm not hugging my friend anymore. I'm holding a man I'm drawn to." Psychology calls this body anchored affection, when attraction becomes muscle memory before words catch up. 10. She starts testing your reaction to sexual touch. Women rarely leap from zero to intimacy. They test gradually, subtly. Maybe she rests her hand on your thigh during a car ride. Maybe she brushes a crumb off your chest slowly and smiles like it's nothing. She's reading your body language like a scanner. Do you freeze? Do you lean in? Do you reciprocate? If you don't pull away, or better, if you hold the moment with calm confidence, you've just passed the test. Because for her, this isn't random touch, it's a psychological probe. She wants to know if desire is mutual without ever saying the words. If you flinch or act overly eager, she'll retreat. But if you stay composed, grounded, unshaken, she'll take that as permission to move closer next time. 11. She brings up what if scenarios about you two. It always starts playful. What if we pretended to be a couple for a weekend? Or imagine if we accidentally hooked up one night. That would be so awkward, right? But here's the truth. These aren't jokes. They're trial runs in her mind. Each what if lets her safely explore the idea of you as a sexual partner without admitting that she already has. She's picturing it. The closeness, the aftermath, the chemistry, and gauging your tone. If you laugh too hard, she'll retreat. If you smile and say, that would be dangerous, she'll feel the spark ignite. These imaginary scenarios are mental rehearsals for real intimacy. 12. She controls the lighting and environment when you hang out. This is one of the most underestimated signals. When she's interested, she instinctively shapes the environment to build tension. Suddenly, she prefers dimly lit bars instead of bright cafes. Or she invites you to her place, but it's her bedroom, not the living room. Maybe she lights a candle or turns on a slow playlist by accident. These are not coincidences. Psychologically, she's creating what experts call a sexualized context, a space where vulnerability, comfort, and intimacy overlap. She's not pushing you physically, she's pulling you in with atmosphere. So if you find the mood suddenly softer, quieter, more private, it's by design. 13. She gets competitive with other women around you. A woman who's purely your friend might tease you about dating, but a woman who wants you can't help but compete. Maybe she playfully criticizes another woman's outfit. Maybe she becomes more touchy with you when someone else joins the conversation. Or maybe her tone sharpens when you mention a girl you're texting. This isn't friendship jealousy, it's territorial psychology. Even if she hasn't admitted it to herself, her body already has. Her instincts say, he's mine, even if he doesn't know it yet. And that small behavioral shift, the way her voice tightens or her eyes follow you, is pure, unfiltered attraction leaking through control. At this stage, the friend zone isn't cracking, it's dissolving. Because once a woman starts managing your space, your touch, and your competition, she's not your buddy anymore. She's your almost lover pretending to be your friend. 14. She starts talking about fantasies, and you're in them. It might begin as harmless late night conversation. She says she read about some crazy fantasy couples have or asks, what's the weirdest thing you've ever thought about? At first, it sounds random, but psychology says fantasies are never shared accidentally. When a woman opens that door, she's signaling extreme trust and curiosity. Notice how the tone changes. Her voice drops slightly. She avoids direct eye contact, but keeps glancing back, testing if you'll flinch or lean in. And the more she talks, the closer the fantasy gets to sounding like something you two could do. Maybe she describes a scenario that somehow matches your personality, your apartment, your habits. That's not coincidence, it's projection. Her mind is building the scene, and you're the lead actor she hasn't admitted she cast yet. 15. She uses innocent sleepwear as a weapon. When she's purely platonic, her comfort outfit screams cozy. Loose t-shirt, baggy sweats, hair in a messy bun, zero tension. But when attraction takes over, she weaponizes subtlety. Suddenly, she's in a tank top, soft shorts, or maybe one of your shirts claiming it's just comfy. That's not comfort. That's psychological framing. She's letting you visualize what's underneath without crossing the line herself. She knows male attraction starts with imagination, so she gives you just enough to think. And the next time you see her like that, your brain won't categorize her as friend anymore. It'll replay the image again and again. 16, she creates private rituals only you share. Friends share jokes, lovers share secrets. When she starts building private little rituals, nicknames, shared phrases, things only you two do, she's psychologically separating you from the rest of her world. It's her way of saying, we have our own space. That space becomes emotional territory. And emotional territory quickly turns intimate. You'll notice she brings those rituals up when others are around, just to remind you that what you share is exclusive. It's subtle possession, the mind's first form of intimacy before the body follows. 17. She introduces alcohol into your time together strategically. She knows exactly what she's doing when she says, let's open a bottle of wine while we talk, or brings cocktails for a movie night. It's rarely about the drink. It's about permission. Alcohol lowers inhibition and creates plausible deniability. If things get physical, she can tell herself it just happened. But watch her closely. The first drink is calm, the laughter easy, then her posture relaxes. She leans in closer when you speak. Touches feel natural. That's her subconscious taking over the performance. And when she looks at you longer than the silence should allow, that's not intoxication. That's intent. By this point, everything between you is operating beneath the surface. Every word, every look, every setting is engineered tension. She's not your buddy anymore. She's a woman building the perfect excuse to let her attraction feel accidental. 18. She frames physical closeness as practical. This is one of the most dangerous forms of disguised desire. She'll make it sound logical, even innocent. It's freezing. Let's share the blanket. Or there's no space. Just sit here. Every word sounds practical, but her body language tells another story. Psychologically, she's using situational justification. By wrapping intimacy in a believable reason, she can cross boundaries without guilt. You'll notice she never rushes these moments. She lets the proximity linger long enough for your heart to race, but short enough to stay accidental. In her mind, she's whispering, let's pretend this just happened. But deep down, it didn't just happen. It was crafted. 19. She plans future events that assume intimacy. Listen closely when she talks about next time. If she starts suggesting road trips, cabins, or weekends away with just the two of you, she's not imagining a friendship anymore. She'll say, we should totally rent a cabin and chill for a few days. Or, let's do a road trip and share a hotel room. It'll be fun. It sounds casual, but psychologically, it's foreshadowing. She's testing how you react to scenarios where privacy possibility. In her head, she's already scripting what that weekend would look like. The conversations, the silence, the moment when friendship dissolves into something deeper. If you agree without hesitation, it tells her one thing: you're ready for the line to blur, too. 20. Her energy shifts from playful to charged in quiet moments. This is the final, undeniable signal, and it's the hardest to fake. There will be a moment, a pause, where the laughter dies and silence fills the air. You'll look at her and everything feels different. The tension is thick. Time slows down. Your pulse feels louder than your words. She isn't saying anything because she doesn't need to. That's her body giving permission her mind won't speak. That's the moment when she's silently saying, if you make a move now, I won't stop you. If you misread it or hesitate too long, that energy disappears. And once it's gone, it's gone. But if you see it, if you feel it, that's when friendship officially ends and desire takes over. When it comes to attraction, words lie, but energy never does. Most men miss these transitions because they're looking for confirmation instead of connection. Psychology teaches us this truth. A woman's desire doesn't announce itself. It leaks out in patterns. Tiny, deliberate changes in how she touches you, looks at you, and creates space for you. When you can read those patterns, you stop guessing and start leading. If this episode opened your eyes, drop a comment below and tell me, which of these signs have you seen before, and did you recognize them at the time? Don't forget to hit subscribe for more daily insights into attraction, dominance, and the subtle mind games behind human behavior. This is Amelia, and you're watching Dark Psychology, where we don't chase desire, we decode it.